Welcome to Golden Mastermind Seminars Radio with your host, Jeffrey Combs.
Jeffery Combs, President and Founder, Golden Mastermind Seminars Incorporated. 2 for Tuesday, 1:04 Pacific Standard Time. That is 3:04 Eastern Standard Time. Welcome, everyone. Looking forward to a great Facebook Live this afternoon. The last Tuesday, year of our Lord 2021, October 26th. Welcome, everyone. I am going to let the Facebook Live populate, and then I will move into the inspirational portion of today's Facebook Live. Scott Lucas, how are you this afternoon? Welcome. Topic for today's Facebook Live is the addiction factor. Welcome, everyone. Kate, Grace, good to see you this afternoon. Welcome. Thank you for taking time out of your day, for being here with me on Tuesday afternoon. Good afternoon, Scott. Good to see you. And Kate, good to see you. Topic for today's Facebook Live is the addiction factor. Eric, good to see you this afternoon. Welcome, everyone. Good to see you here on 2-4 Tuesday. So, as I said, the topic for today's Facebook Live is the addiction factor. Good afternoon, Henry. Looking forward to coaching you this tomorrow. So we, as a society, tend to get and be addicted to a set of feelings. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that you are addicted to drugs, alcohol, or any of the other situations, but what it does mean, it means that you are addicted to a set of feelings. And when you are no longer the mind-body connection to the events that shape the feelings, that begins the separation. And the separation is what allows you to move into consciousness. So there's a factor. And so I've been covering this content for years on the breakthrough factor. So let's take a look at why we do what we do. We tend to do what we do because a series of events in our childhood, which then go into our teenage years, which then carry over into our 20s. And by the time we're 18, 20, 21, 22, we tend to get addicted to a series of emotions: anger, hate, resentment, guilt, shame, abandonment, rejection, overwhelming feelings, grief, apathy, pride, and other emotions. Now, yesterday morning, I was reading on transcending levels of consciousness on anger. I wrote a book, the best-selling book called The Anger Factor, and then today I was reading on pride. These are emotions that I myself have been addicted to: anger, hate, resentment, abandonment, rejection, guilt, shame. Those are the main emotions that affected me over my life. It's your responsibility to understand how the events that have shaped your feelings have created an emotional addiction. It's the emotional addictions that lead to stuffed feelings. Stuffed feelings leads to food consumption, alcoholism, compulsive debting, sex, poor relationships, codependency, a multitude of other situations that we tend to hold on to. And the more you understand cause and effect, why you do what you do, the more you understand how you can become addicted to a set of feelings, and then we tend to chronically complain about some of this. We hold on to this, and then situations don't play out for us, pan out for us, any multitude of situations, and then we feel chronically disappointed, frustrated, angry, and a multitude of situations. A large percent of society chronically complains. How many of you grew up with a chronic complainer? How many of you dated a chronic complainer? How many of you married a chronic complainer? How many of you have chronically complained and now you're in recovery of it? Because if you're in recovery of it, now you're separating yourself from it. You're not the mind-body connection to it anymore. So that's the separation required for you to really step into your power. And as you're in that power that you step into is a different energy. It attracts a different level of teammate, soulmate, vendor, contractor, people to your reality that aren't going to tend to disappoint you. And then also you learn not to be disappointed. You're able to easily and effortlessly let people go, hence the term always letting go. Now, if you're following along on the bullet points that I posted on email and or on Facebook, the first events that shape the feelings. wired to be an addict. That's what we tend to happen because we're in fight or flight as children. We have a grown-up that we can't please. We end up in a foster home. We end up with a grandparent. We end up in a single parent. We end up getting a job and giving our money to our mother or our father. We're wired to be an emotional addict. On the way to school, we're worried about getting traumatized, picked on. We're already in an outer body experience about events that haven't happened, which then creates worrying about events that haven't happened in the future. It's a very common commonality that affects a large percent of society and the world. And if it's affected you and you find yourself in that recovery, well, congratulations, because that recovery that you're now starting to experience is the separation between the events, the facts, and the feelings. Henry said, my stepmother is a chronic complainer and an energy vampire. I understand that. So we've had these people in our life. We have people that are chronic complainers. We have people that are woe is me. We have people that are energy vampires, spiritual vampires, emotional vampires. Some of us have dated, mated, married them. I mean, any multitude of situations, or they're our boss, our employer, or they're a team leader, any multitude of situations, or they're sitting next to us, or they work next to us, and it can actually break us down. And then the trauma-based mind control that goes on in the world that affects so much of us, the repression that affects of us, and the oppression that goes on around us. It's very easy to get broken down, and then the body will react to the stimulus. Irritable bowel syndrome, subluxations in the neck, back, low back, gut issues, H. pylori, SIBO, small intestinal bacterial organisms, a whole series of situations that can happen to us because of our emotional state, because we become addicted to a series of emotions. In the recovery process, you begin to create the space, you create the boundaries, you create recovery of codependency, where your relationships, you're not enabling, over-obligating, doing more for others. You start to develop clarity. You have boundaries. You're able to focus on building a business for yourself. You're able to focus on getting in shape for the first time in your life. You're letting go of feeling selfish, worrying about what other people think. You're no longer in shame. You're no longer letting other people guilt you. That's what elevates your power, your consciousness, changes who and what you attract, shortens your sentence structure. You don't let people violate you. You don't let people put you in a position to validate, justify, and explain yourself. You're in a very relaxed body. Most importantly, you're letting go of guilt that other people use to control you and shame you feel for the events that you've created in your past. And as you're able to create peace with that peace that you create is called consciousness. And that consciousness is what will allow you to change who and what you attract. If you're building any level of leverage business, a coaching business, a real estate business, if you're a contractor, if you're a mortgage broker, if you're an insurance broker, insurance agent, and you're looking to attract that database of customers, that database of clients, and then you're looking to attract the teammates that can produce, letting go of your emotional addictions is a major component of recovery for you, because your energy shifts from being lower self to higher self, where you're more charismatic. Energy flows differently. You're able to let people go easily and effortlessly. You're not validating, justifying, explaining yourself. You're able to qualify people and situations for your time. Your conversations are condensed. They're brought down in here. You're not in stories and drunkalogs. And if you speak in a meeting or a 12-step meeting, you don't go on and on and on. You're able to get your point across. You're able to deliver a message. You're able to have clarity in the outcome you seek to create. But if you're one of these ramblers and talkers and keep going on and on and on and on, people will check out on you. The attention span of the average person is relatively short. And it's your responsibility to easily and effortlessly let go, so that you are not the mind-body connection to the event that shaped the feelings, so that you are not in an overwhelmed state, so that you are not in anxiety, fear, and especially doubt. And as you let go of that doubt of, I'm not sure if I can make it in this. I better go back and get a job. I'm not sure if, and you move out of that, I'm not sure, you move into certainty. And that certainty, once again, is that you're letting go of the anxiety that creates the doubt. Doubt is an energy that affects most of the world, meaning that I'm not certain. Doubt creates disbelief, where consciousness creates belief. So belief is sense of certainty. Doubt is the uncertainty. Doubt is the uncertainty. I'm not sure if. Doubt creates the mixed message. In a conversation, in a selling conversation, in doubt, you're already worried about the outcome. You're afraid you're going to make a mistake. You're afraid you're going to offend someone. You don't want someone to think you're trying to... all this noise is going on because of what happened to you in your childhood. As you begin to create peace with that, create boundaries with that, let people go, not feel obligated, not feel guilty. As you're able to be in that space, that allows space, you're allowing yourself to be your best you. You're able to articulate your feelings in a very relaxed body. Jessalyn Black, so good to see you. I look forward to coaching you next week. Jess is an exceptional mompreneur. Thank you for being here. I also saw Brenda. Good to see you this afternoon, Brenda. And as you're able to create this separation in this space, so now there's this zone. And this zone is called the morphinogenic field. So that zone of energy that you're now in, it's right in here. And so that's the zone that you attract from. Rather than being all over the map, trying to attract people, oh, I'm looking for that one great person. I'm looking for that real estate home run. I'm looking for that insurance superstar. I'm looking for that network marketing super. Instead, no, you don't look for anything. You learn how to be your best self. And you're letting go of your emotional addictions. And you talk differently to yourself. You don't say things like, I'm a hot mess. I'm a wreck. I'm always overwhelmed. I'm always late. You stop edifying these situations that you do, and you start to address them. In recovery, that is called rigorous honesty. That is acceptance. You accept the situations that you've done. You accept the situation that you're in, and you start creating daily results and solutions. Horace Kreider, so good to see you. Galloway, New Jersey in the house. Good to see you, Horace. And as you create this space, this is what changes who and what you attract. This is what can create the difference between $1,000 and $10,000, $10,000 and $100,000, because of who and what you attract. The compounded effect, a quantum leap, the zone. This all can be part of your. This can be part of your neurology that you're now creating. You're changing the neurological network of neurons that wire and fire that form your feelings. So when you feel screwed over, when you feel hopeless, when you feel in apathy, when you're at rock bottom, your energy is very, very low. I've been there. I've laid on the bathroom floor of a tiny little apartment in between dry heaves and delirium tremens, losing my will to live as an addict. I eventually was able to get up. I ended up in a drug and alcohol treatment center. I was able to eventually let go. And as I was learning how to let go, I started to change my energy. I gained my will to live back. This was 33 years ago. Over a 33-year period, I built a 7-figure network marketing business, a coaching business I started 23 going on 24 years ago. Started to accrue assets, buy real estate, have a better understanding of taxes, money, and how to really be an entrepreneur and how to really own a business. And it came over a long career. You can do it. You can not only do it, you can be that man. You can be that woman. You can be that single mom with kids. You can be that single man. You can let go of the drama, the chaos, the dysfunctional relationships. You can let go of the family members who use guilt to control you. You can let go of the shame that you hold on to for the mistakes that you've created. You can really learn to address this one day at a time. It scales your energy. I mean, I've seen many of you do it. Kate Grace is a perfect example of a woman I've watched do it. I've watched Aaron do it. I've watched people go from being completely unorganized, undisciplined. I've seen people go from barely making it in a business to being a multiple 6-figure income earner in 2 and 4 years. Not only have I seen it, I've witnessed it. I did it myself. All of you can do it. Josh Moran, good to see you here this afternoon. I mean, I've watched several of you reinvent yourself. So there is the emotional sobriety. That's a major anchor. That's the real foothold there. Thank you, Ruth. I appreciate the great compliment. It's that changing the way you feel about self to where you're good enough. And once you can learn to be and stay in good enough. A woman said to me today, she goes, I don't have a story. I go, well, you don't require a story. What you require is sobriety today. That's what you focus on, not a story. It's not, and you're not building a legacy. What you're doing is you're building your emotional muscle. That's so much more important. And the more that you focus on the simplicity, the methodical, systemized, organized, detailed way that you operate your life, so that you're not in the chaos, you're not in the drama. You have a routine to exercise in. You brush your teeth at the same time. You get up at the same time. You stop rebelling against yourself. You relax into life, and you start to flow into life. And as you flow into life, you tend to have less people who will pick on you, less people who want to violate you, less people who want to traumatize you, because your energy isn't in that space anymore. You're not out there going, hey, please someone provoke me so we can be in conflict. You're not in this space, hey, someone make me wrong so I can make myself right. You're not in this space anymore because you realize in emotional recovery, the pleasure isn't worth the pain. And as you step into the power of that, it's like these people don't show up anymore. That type of person doesn't show up anymore because your energy doesn't give that off. And at a higher law of average, people over here show up that are saying, I don't know what you're doing, but I'd like to join you. Or I hear you're a health coach, I'd like to hire you. Or do you sell insurance? Are you a real estate agent? So this is the organic way that this happens. And this is the term, they show up. I mean, I've witnessed it. I've had it happen to me. And it once again, I'm from a little tiny town in Iowa, 7,500 people. It can unequivocally happen to you. And it's going to happen as you start to master your emotions. It's going to happen as you move into emotional recovery. It's going to happen as you let go of your stuffed feelings. It's going to happen as you let go of your chronic debting. It will happen, Jennifer, good to see you. Everyone, let's give Jennifer some love. It'll happen more and more as you let go of the conflict. And then all of a sudden your house that you had for sale sells. You move to the state that you want to move to. You look around. I coached one of my clients who moved from New Jersey to Clearwater last night. I mean, it just the energy of the way I could just feel that it was a whole different space for him. And he's in a whole different experience. He's living where he wants to live by design. And all of us can do this. We can unequivocally. Michael Stroop, good to see you from Jacksonville. Thank you, Ruth, for those kind words. So this is a be, like you're being your best, and then you'll change who and what you attract. Good afternoon, Roger. Everyone say hello to Roger Maldonado, who is crushing it in his sales business. It's all happening for me. Yes, Jennifer, you're who I'm talking about. I know that is happening for you. David, good to see you this afternoon. Thank you for joining us. So the more you understand cause, effect, results, and solution, live in the solution today. Create results today. Create a new story. Oh, moving to Naples. So everyone give Jennifer a hand. She's moving to Naples, Florida. That is awesome. Mark Alexander lives in Clearwater. So Ruth, thank you for meeting Roger. Ruth is someone I highly, highly endorse, and I endorse many of you. There's some really exceptional coaches on today's Facebook Live. I see Josh Moran, Kate Grace. There's a lot of leaders. Ruth Sheridan. There's some really, really exceptional people here on Aaron Knight. There's a lot of recovery on here. Corey Van Winkle is a rock star sales professional. Good afternoon, Corey. So there's a lot of talent. A lot of you are just absolutely leaning into life and making changes for yourself, letting go of some of the tyranny you live in. You're finding the best places to live. I mean, this takes courage. Give yourself credit. You don't require a hand up, a handout, just a long, deep breath and realize you have the courage to make the changes. That courage that you access also elevates consciousness, just like this. It just raises it. Courage is not an emotion, it's a quality, and you access it as required. And then as you are able to, you're not like being courageous to take on an opponent. Your opponent is your ego. Kayla, good to see you this afternoon. Kayla is very courageous in the way she's handling the situation she's handling. So good to see you. And for those of you who do not know Roger Maldonado, he has overcome so much in his life. He has definitely a book inside of him. So many of you have a book inside of you of this journey you're on, and all the drama you grew up in and all the chaos you grew up in. And here you are in your 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s, and you're starting to really learn how to be and stay conscious. And it's that consciousness that will assist you to change who and what you attract. My name is Jeffery Combs. I am the president and founder of Golden Mastermind Seminars Incorporated. Thank all of you for being on my Facebook Live here today. Congratulate all of you for the changes that you're absolutely creating in your life. I mean, it takes a lot of courage to be able to be that man and woman who can look at the situation and begin the process of letting go. Ray Tomeo is on today's call. I was Ray's coach over 10 plus years ago. Ray, good to see you this afternoon. Have a great afternoon, everyone. Congratulations on your successes, your victories, your sobriety, your consciousness.